Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Suzy. Yeah, how about yourself? Got the
I'm
old
very well,
coffee?
thank you. Not bad at all. You got your coffee?
Yeah, slowly waking up. Yeah, are you? Excuse me. Are you quite an early bird? Would you say? Or
I am. I've been about 5:30 this morning. Which one of your questions that I would like to talk about is about definitely early starts, and it was such a game changer for me. So
yeah, amazing.
yeah, I'm an early bird. I never used to be, but I am now.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've sort of tried both really. Going gym late at night. Got a bit bored of that, and then yeah, early starts can be beneficial, but yeah, it's just finding what you like, isn't it? But yeah, no, we'll get into that shortly. So yeah, I'll
Cool.
just crack on straight with questions because we've got about 40 minutes today. So yeah, we'll fire through them.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so
Amazing. Excited.
yeah, so give us a general overview of who you are, what you do, and the community that you're a part of.
So I'm Suzy, and so I am 41 years old. I don't know how the hell that happened.
Don't look it, no.
Don't know. I still feel like I'm like mid 20s. But a little bit about me. I mean, I basically am probably a big hippie, a big woo woo hippie. I think that's how I'm kind of well known within the evolved community. I am the woo woo person, so hence the Reiki situation going on behind me and dream catchers and stuff everywhere. But I kind of started this business because I have four rescue dogs. Well, I had three at the time, but now I've got four. And it was very much about, to be honest, like I wanted to stop leaving them to go into the office every day. I wanted to spend more time with them.
Mm,
I had a few kind of health problems, which really shook me up a little bit. And it just made me think, right, okay, I want to do things differently and I want to live differently. I've always been quite spiritual and quirky and like to do things differently. So, this opportunity kind of came quite well, I'm going to say naturally, but very unnatural at the same time because I very much did not do social media in the slightest.
yeah,
But for the actual freedom aspect of it, it was like, okay, I see the light of how this actually could help how I want to live.
yeah,
And I wanted to live traveling with my dogs ultimately. So that's where, like, pretty much what I do right now. Well, I'm actually living in a converted horse wagon at the moment, but
I was
at the moment, like
I was
I'm very
curious about what it
alternative.
was. Sorry, I did wonder what it was. I thought it was a big old camper or something. But yeah, it's very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I have got a van outside on standby for adventures and stuff. But yeah, I do live off grid, and that was another reason. I mean, when I started the business, I wasn't like, oh, I want to live off grid, and that was the focus. But it's kind of organically gone down that path,
Yeah,
because well, ultimately because I went through a breakup and I moved into my van. I wasn't planning on staying in my van. I was just going to do a bit of traveling. But then I was like, you know what? This is amazing. I'm going to carry on doing this. I don't need to work anymore. So this
yeah,
is
yeah.
incredible. And then it's led me to just like off grid living. And now I'm ready to buy land and build my own sanctuary, which was always the vision when I started this business. But I thought it would have been like a 10-year goal. And somehow it's come to me a lot quicker, which is incredible.
That is incredible. Yeah,
That's
wow. How did you come across the business in the first instance then? Because you said it was sort of an accident that you stumbled
Yeah,
into it.
well, it was an accident. But I know Nikki. I've known Nikki for years. So Nikki actually introduced me to this business. Me, Nikki from Stoke-On-Trent, so we're from the same place.
Right. Yeah.
And like Nikki had started this business, I think, like a year before I'd started. But we were friends on Facebook. We kind of kept coming into each other's lives. Like we worked together about God, it's like 13 years ago now,
Right.
and we kind of stayed in contact. But on Facebook, I'd seen like she was living this life of traveling around in this van. And at the time, I was going through surgery. Had some health problems, and I was just like really depressed and like, what the hell is going on with my life? Like, I'm like at the end, I was mid 30s, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't keep going to work feeling ill, and it was just like loads of stuff kind of happened. And I saw her in Italy in a van and thought, what the fuck is she doing? Just messaged her. I was like, what are you doing and how do I do it? And yeah, that was it basically. So from there, I signed up to the platform, I was, even though I knew Nikki, I was so skeptical of the whole thing because, like I said, I didn't have an Instagram. I wasn't social media focused in the slightest.
Yeah.
I still have a love hate relationship with social media, if I'm completely honest with you, but I work on it. But so you can make it work. And I just was like, right, okay, Nikki, I can't do this yet because financially I just couldn't. And also mentally, I just had a lot going on in my personal life. So it took me a while, to be honest, but that's okay. Like, absolutely is okay. And then, yeah, like basic, but I mean, this was before Evolve. So me and Nikki were in a community called Become the Change. And then Evolve was created, and I was part of that like creation as well, and like co-run Evolve with her and stuff. So it's just been the most incredible journey. But I was so skeptical to begin with, so it was definitely by accident, but the best accident.
So it sounds like you guys have been pretty tight for a minute then. You've known each other a long time. So
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
That was it. Sorry.
Right, yeah.
We have known each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is horse wagon internet for you, so I do apologise if it's crappy.
Yeah, it's all good. I think we're holding out good. That's fine. So, how do you feel the Evolve platform and community has helped you grow as a mentor?
Honestly, considerably, because like I said, I was in a different community before, and it was an incredible community. Don't get me wrong, like Become the Change is beautiful, and it was a beautiful place to start. But something I did recognize quite quickly, and this is what's so lovely about these like interchangeable communities that we do have, and everybody supports one another as like a whole kind of organism, really, which is amazing. But to be honest, when I started this, I was probably within that community the oldest, I would say, at the time. And I was a little bit like, do you know what? I'm bumbling around picking up dog poo and like covered in mud, and these people were like out in Bali having the time of their lives, and I wasn't necessarily like relating to that as much, because I was older and I had a different vision of what I wanted to be creating. Right. So there was some kind of like things that I weren't in alignment with, and then Evolve was created, and I like I said, I helped with that creation as well. So that in turn helped with my confidence. It helped with my alignment of my business. It helped with my alignment of the community. It then shaped how then I wanted to mentor and show up as a leader. And it made me level the fuck up, basically, which is exactly what I needed at that point in time. I think I was, not that everybody will understand, but I was at a milestone within the business called around 4A, I think then maybe nearly 5A, but at a time where I needed to level up. It was time for me to, get a kick up the ass, basically. And it's exactly what I did. But with the support of Nikki and being able to collaborate and do it with other people, you're never by yourself anyway. So it doesn't feel scary.
Sure. Yeah. That's one of the beautiful things about the fact that in this online business, you get to be part of that community, and the community is also a training platform. So everybody helps each other out, which is a fantastic thing. So you mentioned about the sort of the ranking system there. So how long have you been doing affiliate network marketing, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. So 4 years now. So I've been doing this business for 4 years. To be honest, I did other things before this, like online opportunities, which they just didn't align with me. So I have been doing it a little bit longer. But yeah, in this business, it's been a 4-year beautiful journey.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's a relatively a long time. Well, I mean, I've not even like affiliated yet, so to me that's a very long time. But yeah, props to you.
You know what though, it goes so quick. Like within a job kind of like setup, I've worked like 20 years in corporate environments, and I have gone in and out of like different jobs, but within corporate, for nearly 20 years, and my whole kind of like timeline has been I've been able to do a job for probably about 2 years, 3 years, and then I'm just like, you know what, I've got bored, I've got the ick, I need to move on and go to another company because I'm just bored to shit. Like in this, I don't feel like I've been doing this for 4 years. I feel like I've been doing it for like a couple of months, like because you're always kind of inspired and learning and changing. It just like I could never get bored of doing this ever.
I can relate to you so well there. I mean, I'm somebody who's recently been diagnosed with ADHD, which explains
Yeah.
a lot. And so I think that might be one of the reasons why I've just, felt like I've struggled to hold down jobs before, Yeah, whether it's
Yeah,
like
but
getting bored or whatever.
it's a beautiful thing, that is, like, and I'm the same. So, but like, actually, it's not holding down jobs. I've come from like a HR background, so in like different jobs, and there was like a status that we had to like interview people against, but also what's the word I'm looking for? Like train people against. And it's called like a high achiever trait, and that's actually correlated with ADHD brains. And it basically means that we come into something and have like a high achiever trait within a job, and because we can't maintain that high achiever trait like post the 2 year or 3 year kind of like timeline, you get bored because the job is what it is. Unless you keep getting promoted, and we don't necessarily go after promotions as ADHD brains, we just want to be stimulated, and like there's not enough within a job to keep a high achiever trait. So actually, in an entrepreneurial sort of like environment, you will thrive like I felt I have, because it will always keep on inspiring you and changing you. So embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a relief to hear, to be fair. Very good to know. Yeah. Do you have an accountability partner, and if so, how do you feel it might benefit you to have one?
Well, that's a bloody good question, that is. Do you know what? I've only very recently got an accountability partner. I did when I first started. I had a number of accountability partners. Talk about an ADHD brain. So yeah, I went through quite an accountability slag. It sounds like that. But basically, with accountability partners, I don't think there's any harm in actually like starting an accountability partnership and actually saying, do you know what, this isn't working, because ultimately it needs to be right for you, and you will find like some people just don't work at the same sort of energy that you do. And I recognized that quite quickly in a few when I first started. So to be honest, when I first started, I had accountability partners probably for the first 6 months of my journey, I would say. And then after that, I didn't have an accountability partner until this year. So I actually started with an accountability. I mean, I'm 6A and I'm about to hit 6A again. And I've only just now started with an accountability partner, because she's at a similar sort of level of me. And it was like for the whole kind of community, what she does in her community, how she runs her, because it's not actually within Evolve, right. It's actually outside of Evolve, but it's really beautiful because we can exchange like these really inspired ideas now, and it's on a whole nother level. And I would massively say it's benefited me hugely this year. In fact, so much that I'm actually doing a call on it this month for Evolve.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. I'll look forward to that. Well, if it's in the Evolve chat as well, because obviously some of them are just for affiliates, some of them. But great. Good going. And it's cool as well how, obviously, big wide world, you can just go and network with people in another community, and you can just swap notes, and everybody's like cool with it. It's like no gatekeeping, thing like that. So
exactly. Yeah. Exactly that, and that's a beautiful like an analysis, and also like an observation that there is no gatekeeping like what you would get in the court. I mean, like I said, coming from 20 years of corporate, like the gatekeeping situation. Well, I could tell you many stories, but within this, it took me so much kind of adjust to it that everybody is here to support one another. In fact, it freaked me out when I first started, because I'm quite an introverted person. I'm always kind of by myself traveling, and like the whole community side of it almost put me off, because I was just like, no way am I getting on a call with like a load of people who I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, who are these people? What do they want?
And apparently they're all cheerleading me, and I'm just like, I don't even know you. Like, what is going on? And it was like massive alarm bells for me, and it took a lot of adjusting for me to actually get used to being in that environment. But Christ Almighty, when you lean into it, that's when like you will have blockers and limiting beliefs and ceilings that you just stop bashing the hell through, because there is nothing but inspiration and empowerment that is actually being fed into you. And as long as you allow that in, then there's nothing stopping you. There is literally no failure.
Yeah.
you can lean into anybody, not just within a bowl, but outside communities as well. And I've had like advice from Nate and all these like big other leaders on how to help do my business and stuff. And it's like, why do they want to help me? And it's just because they want to help. And like now for me to be able to kind of pass that to people as well in my leadership and mentorship, it all starts to click and make sense. And it's like, it's a very beautiful place to be. But I know it seems a lot for people when they come in.
Yeah.
Because I was there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but like super overwhelming just with the amount of information that you got to take in, but at the same time, just super inspiring as well.
Yeah.
So a big part of affiliate network marketing is creating content. How do you feel you stay motivated as a content creator?
Ooh, good question again. And again, like so new to me when I started because I never posted anything on Facebook, and apart from dogs what needed rescuing and needed homes. And I never I didn't even have an Instagram. So when I first started, I was like, I remember like trying to Google and asking Nikki for help because I didn't know how to put music onto like a story. I was like, wow, everybody's stories look like amazing on Instagram. They've got music. I was just like, what? This like sorcery. I don't know how to make this work.
Right,
and yeah, it took like a hell of a lot of watching YouTube videos for the very, very basic stuff. And I mean, like, how do I put writing on top of this post? And yeah, it was just such a learning curve. So to begin with, I must admit, like, if you scroll back right at the start of my Instagram, because I haven't deleted any of it, I've just left it on my grid because I like going back and just thinking, wow, I've actually got better at something. Because to begin with, I was like
look how far
oh
you've come.
my God, it's too...
Yeah, like look how far you come with it all, sort of thing. You see that journey, don't you? It's like I'm speaking to a guy called Matt Whitley, and he's doing like a 90-day sprint, and he's doing that for that same sort of reason, just get that muscle going and really sort of get confident with it. So yeah, it's just great to do it just to iterate, if nothing else, sort of thing.
Yeah, and then to look at your progress, because I think your human brain is very quick to kind of forget like what journey you have been on. And it is nice to go back and just look. But when I go back and look, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? But it, it's part of my journey. It's there for a reason. Speaking on stories and stuff was like, God, because I was such a fear of public speaking, and I told you I was really nervous about coming on like this because it still is nerve wracking as hell for me. I don't think it will ever go away, but then it's fine when you're doing it. But in regards to now, how I feel, I stay consistent and inspired. And to be fair, even from when I started, once I got into the flow of like, okay, I do content, that's what I do now. I was like, every Sunday I would always kind of not necessarily plan my content as in write it all out, but I would plan a flow of what my content needed to look like. So I knew, my content back then was dogs. It was me out walking. It was mindset stuff and it was spirituality. So I always had that flow, but then I would flow in, I'm also doing a business and this is what it's actually helping me find within myself, to be honest, because it was just a huge personal development journey for me, and I just shared all of that to start with. So really the inspiration and consistency was I documented absolutely everything. I didn't shy away from anything, and I was a shitstorm to begin with, and it was very, very imperfect. To be honest, it still now is massively imperfect. I am never going to be an Instagrammable person, but I quite openly would just be like, I'm not, and it is what it is. So like either stick around or don't. Like to me, I don't necessarily ever feel like I struggle with inspiration for content now, because I will just talk about what I feel on the day. But on a Sunday, I do still kind of like tap into, okay, if I'm having a bit of an off week and I am struggling with inspiration, then I've got these like things what I can lean into and talk about. But otherwise, it's like, what's going on today, Suzy? Feeling a bit shit? Okay, I'm going to talk about that. Or what's going on today, Suzy? Like, I'm feeling great. I'm going to talk about it.
100%, because it's real and it's genuine, and that's what people want. They want that authenticity, I think, and they want that connection with a real person, not just as sort of a business owner. I think that's really powerful. Are you still with us? I think you might have frozen there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Am I back?
I think you're back. Yeah, I can hear
Am I
you.
back?
Yeah. We're good. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all good. Internet, yeah. I've had a few technical issues with some of these calls. It was quite funny. We were doing like an Instagram live at the beginning, and then it just yeah, there was the echo, and then
Oh,
yeah, we tried all these different things.
God.
Um,
And
what?
here we are wanting to work online with technology.
Right. What sacrifices do you feel you may have had to make to get where you are today in your business?
Ooh, good question. I just sound really bad. I just say it how it is though. But I mean, really, sacrifice wise, like I've gone through so much change since starting this business, as in like relationships have ended, in all honesty. It's kind of moved me into being a different person, essentially, and different like goals and different visions of what I wanted from when I first started. And the person who I was with when I started the business, it drifted us apart because I was like forming into this new person, and he wasn't really necessarily on the same journey as me. And in all honesty, like the sacrifice was pretty much my relationship. And but we're still friends, and it was for all the right
Yeah.
reasons. But it was still hard. So you do kind of tend to, because you're going on a personal development journey, you do tend to move through a little bit through a sticky stage, I would say, of like the friends that you've got around you. And when I'm traveling, for example, if I'm traveling and then going back home, it is a bit of like a weird feeling for me to keep going back home, and it's like the same home, the same place, people doing the same things. And obviously, my friends, like I've been friends with since I was in infant school, but sometimes it's a bit of a different sort of kind of conversation to what we would have had before, because obviously I'm doing things a lot differently now. I wouldn't say that's a sacrifice, but I guess it's more of a growth and a learning curve for me to be able to mitigate like my friendships and still nurture them, but from a different way now because I'm a different person. And I've sacrificed a hell of a lot of different versions of me, in all honesty. Like there's been so much like skin shedding, should we say, when starting this business, but for like beautiful reasons, and to be able to get into a place and be able to honor each one of them, and see them for what they've offered, but also let them go. That's been pretty huge as well. It is scary, but also if you love personal development and you like the fact that you're wanting to go on a growth journey, then just like lean into it entirely. I don't think it will probably affect you, as much as somebody that doesn't want to go on a growth journey. Like, but to be honest, if you're not wanting to go on a growth journey, don't start an online business or don't start this business.
Yeah, exactly.
It will be very hard. But it's beautiful. But I'm not here to say it's easy, because it isn't. But parts of it has not been easy. But looking back, it's like, fuck me, that was beautiful. That was like eye-openingly beautiful. But when you're in it, it's just like, holy crap, what is going on?
What do you think is to sort of piggyback off that? What do you think is like the most like challenging part of it so far in your journey? I'm sure you've had many sort of times like that, but if there were like one sort of major point that was like a big hurdle for you, what might you say that would be?
I think honestly, it's actually been really recently, which and I don't want to kind of like put people off here, and this is very much a personal thing. And I'm not here to say like you'll get this business to a really good place and then it'll just like turn to shit, because that's not it's not the case for everybody. But in all honesty, and like I'm here to be raw and authentic and completely me, that I hit 6A, which is a massive milestone within our business, and it's what everybody starts and guns towards, and that happens. And in all honesty, that came with a hell of a lot of like self-questioning, like blockers, and changes within my business that I made, because I did take advice from other leaders within the business of like, when you hit this milestone, this is what you should start thinking about doing. And they are right with what they're doing, what they're saying and what they're advising. But this is, again, the telltale whole like situation with this business is everybody is on their own unique journey. And other people are doing won't necessarily suit you. But I tried it anyway. And even though I was part of Evolve, I did decide to like create my own community. I've got like my own platform, as in like actual platform, as in like website funnel thing, which doesn't matter. Ignore that part. It didn't, it's not relevant. But the whole, like, that was a massive learning curve for me. I had to learn all that and kind of action all of that. And then like starting and breaking away a little bit from Evolve just did not suit me at all. And it actually, once I really reflected back and I came back to Evolve and really kind of got under all of these like limiting beliefs and blockers that came up and understand. I don't know if you've ever heard of the human design. You heard of human design? No. Okay. I'll send you some details. And if anybody else is interested, then like let me know and I can share some details with you. But your human design is like very much it's like your DNA makeup. It's like who you are and about your structure of you, like DNA wise, and why you do things and why your brain acts in certain ways. And for me, as I said, quite introverted, not massively keen on being like the front facing person of certain situations, and that is never going to change for me. And there's within this business, it's always like push yourself out your comfort zone, you'll get through the other side and it'll be amazing. But actually certain things you just cannot change about yourself. And for me, I don't want to be the face of something by myself. I don't. So for me to have my own community by myself is just it's not within my human design. And I found that out actually through my human design, but also I just did not like it. So I like working with other people and like doing it is like a collaborative thing, rather than leading a whole thing by myself. And yeah, that was like a huge, I tried it, and I kind of, an answer to your question, I wish I didn't. I wish it's something that I did differently, but I would never have learned that about myself, and it would have been something I would have done at some point anyway. So I'd rather do it now, and actually I've off the back of it thrived, and my team are thriving because I've just been very honest and said, you know what, within this business you can do what the fuck you want with it. You don't need to just be doing it this one dimensional way. You find your own way and you will be okay. So there was huge lessons from it, but it was a tough good few months, like nearly a year. Well, it's about a year now. It was about a year ago that all started to happen. But
finding out what doesn't work as well as what does has its value by the sound of it. So
yeah.
What's one thing you might have done differently in your business journey?
Oh, sorry, that would have probably been that. I would have done that differently. Okay. And I think done it differently, or I guess I would have done it differently because there would have been ways that I could have navigated doing that in a different way rather than ADHD brain taking action before actually like properly figuring out exactly what it was that I wanted to do. And I would have done that differently. I would have like strategized that differently. But that being said, like I said before, it all happened. It needed to happen in that way for me to kind of learn one of the biggest lessons that I've learned within this business. And it's not always to follow exactly, what everybody else is doing. It's about understanding what works for you and what sits right with you. And thank God we have a business model which completely and utterly allows that.
Lets you sort of experiment with what you feel like you say works for you and what doesn't. So yeah. Cool. Well, we've got through these questions quite quickly actually, but that's good because we're sort of nearing the 10-minute mark. So if someone were watching this video on the replay and they were interested in pursuing what you do, affiliate network marketing, what advice might you offer them?
I would say just to go for it. I mean, my advice is if you are, I'm not going to talk, like, if you don't mind, I'm just going to restructure that question a tiny bit.
Interpret it how you like,
only because, like, my answer is not necessarily about affiliate network marketing. It is more about knowing what it is that you're wanting. And if it is that you're wanting like time freedom, like I said, I wanted to be able to travel. I also am very passionate about volunteering with animals and conservation projects, because that's my degree, that's my background. And I needed to be able to have time to be able to do that. So for me, the main goal was, I need to find something that is going to give me time freedom. And on that, it kind of needs to have a financial aspect to it as well, or else I'm not going to have the time to do it because I'm going to be working. Right. So my advice to you would be, if you are considering working online and working with affiliate network marketing or anything else for that matter, you need to find something that is passive income, and you need to find something that is working with automation. And if you don't have those two things, don't pursue it, because I guarantee you, I tried 5 different things before this, and it will not give you time freedom, and will not give you the financial side of things as well. Yeah. You know, I'm in a position now where I only need to work like 2 hours a day, and like on my terms as well. Like, so, you know, some days I won't do that. Some days I can mold it. And did I think that I was going to be able to create that in 4 years? Absolutely not. But that's purely because of this business model, because of the high ticket value of what we work with product wise, the automation aspect of it, 100%. If you haven't got that, you're still going to be there presently, having to put your time and energy into something. And also you need to have passive income. And if you don't have that passive income, then you're not ever going to have that financial security. Yeah. So that's my advice, to look for that. And to be honest, you get all of that in this. So don't look anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, because that is a point, isn't it? It's that I think a lot of people hear the sort of buzzword of, oh, you know, from this, you know, kind of what you're doing, it is like it generates passive income. But I mean, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, it does almost seem like it's more of a sort of semi-passive income. You know, that you do need to, you know, take a lot of action, especially in the beginning, in order to get to the point where you're at now, where you've got a lot more sort of time freedom, and you get to automate those sort of tasks.
I mean, the automation piece is there at the start, but obviously, like any business, you are needing to build the foundations of it. And also, it's really a mindset thing, that if you're not putting the energy into your business at the start, then are you actually doing the business? Like, are you actually, you know, working on yourself? No, you're probably not. It's like a hobby. But I must admit, when I came in and when we were talking about sacrifices earlier, I literally said to everybody around me, family, friends, and my ex-partner, you know, this is my priority for the next year. This is my priority. Yeah. So if I go quiet, that's why. Yeah. And it was. But I mean, I still only put like 2 to 3 hours in a day to work around my bloody job that I was doing crazy amount of hours for. But, you know, the energy was there, the focus was there, and I had my blinkers on, and it was like, this is what I'm doing, and I know it's going to get me somewhere, and it did. So it's about prioritizing what it is that you're actually going after. And if it's that time freedom, find the right opportunity that can definitely give you that, if you then put the energy in to get there.
Which sort of speaks of the need to have a very strong why, a strong sort of raison d'etre as to why you're doing things. Yeah, so...
Yeah, definitely.
What's your why? Put you on the spot.
Right. I mean, it was my dogs to begin with. I mean, just to be open and honest, I found out like I couldn't have children, and that was like the line in the sand moment for me, where it's like, okay, well, I'm not going down that path for my future, for my life, but I do have dogs, and at the moment I'm not prioritizing them, and they are my children. So that was my why to begin with, but it kind of like evolved now. My why is very much like getting my own land, living off grid, living book the system mentality, because I'm very anti-system on many, many reasons, which is another call in itself. But you know, that's my why now, that I will create something that I can give back for animals in my own way. And yeah, that's what drives me every day.
Amazing. Well, look, thank you ever so much for your time today. I think that's pretty much a wrap. So if people wanted to know more about you and what you do, where can they find you online?
So I'm mainly on Instagram. I don't really do a lot on Facebook, in all honesty. So on Instagram, I'm Soul Roam Suzy. I was Free Roaming Suzy, but my why changed. And you know, I was living in freedom, so I kind of changed my name as well. And yeah, so I'm Soul Roam Suzy now in Instagram, if you want to connect with me.
Yeah. Cheers. Yeah.